helps me, so.
What do you think you accomplished out here today?
I think that I showed that I could be fluid. Obviously I played this year predominantly closer to the box. So just being able to open up, run, high point the ball, and get out of my transitions, that's one thing I think I displayed today.
So you were a four-time captain here.
That's right.
Looking back at what you were able to accomplish from a leadership standpoint, what's something that you feel that you were able to effectively instill in your younger teammates as a leader, and something you take pride in? Does that make sense? So
I would say being a role model and being an example about how to go about your business, whether it's on the field, off the field, in the building, outside the building, I try to, come correct, show the young guys that this is the model, this is a way that you can follow, and that'll lead to success. So that's how I try to carry it about myself.
were there any younger teammates you saw that you kind of saw yourself in, like a guy you watch and kind of thought, man, that's a younger Jonathan Sutherland I'm watching right now?
There's a guy in the corner, Cam Miller. He's a guy that, he's just so detail oriented, and I could see that not only on the field but in his preparation as well. So that's a guy that comes off the bat right there.
Who else is up next on the defensive side of the ball, whether that's linebacker or defensive back?
Young linebackers like Abdul, Kobe, Keon, Wiley. I tried to set a great example for them in the linebacker room, obviously, and I see a lot of thought into their preparation nowadays, and it makes me proud.
Barney talked about how it's rare for a team to have 3 draft eligible, punter, snapper, kicker. You got to know those guys pretty well. What is it like seeing them go through the process and going through it with them?
Yeah, those are my guys. I like the way I love the way they go about their business. The preparation that they put in. They're hard workers. And that's most definitely what's led to their success so far in this process. Their work ethic.
I know he's obviously dealt with the defensive line, but as a graduate assistant, I'm sure you dealt with Deion Barnes. So why do you think he's the right guy for this job at this time?
I would say he's so detail oriented. Every single day that I've been here, and I kid you not, every single practice, he stays out after hours and works with the D-line. He works with their fundamentals. He works with their technique. He holds them to a standard, and he tells them the truth. He tells it how it is. And there was no doubt in my mind when he was a GA, I knew he was going to be elevated to some sort of position, whether it was here or not, because of his work ethic and his attention to detail.
So PJ openly endorsed Deion for the job not too long after news broke of Coach Scott and the job opening. Was that something that, like, when you found out that Coach Scott was leaving, were you thinking right away like Deion should be promoted, or what was your thought process there?
Most definitely.
Jonathan, in terms of your next steps from here, where will you go? What will you do? And what is your, 2 months plan now till the draft, or
right.
A month and a half?
Yeah, it's coming up.
Yeah. What's that like for you coming up?
So I'm going to head back down to Canada. I have a trainer out there who I'm going to be working with, and then probably be in and out, the States and Canada, going on visits and whatnot, and just going from there.
And what have you heard through this draft process so far from teams, from NFL personnel? What's been their message to you so far?
Special teams is big. I know that. And obviously my track record, my experience, playing all 4 phases for the whole time I've been here is definitely going to help me a lot in the going up in the NFL. So.
Have you spoken to any teams
Yeah.
yet? Which ones?
So I attended a CGS All-Star game in Fort Worth, Texas, in early January, and I spoke to probably about 10 plus teams there. And just had good conversations, and they got to obviously see me compete in Texas, and then now getting here at Pro Day. So.
Have you spoke with the Steelers at all?
Yeah, I spoke to the Steelers at CGS. Yeah.
And what has your experience been with the people you've met from that organization?
Yeah, great. They're great people. They have a high standard. Rich history, and yeah.
What do NFL teams want to know about you? When you're in those meetings, having those conversations.
They want to know my background. Obviously being from Canada. How I got into football. How I transitioned here to the States and whatnot, and kind of how that path looked for me.
Jonathan, I remember you here as a, 7th grader or something? Or
yeah,
8th
I used
grader?
to come. Yeah.
Can you wrap your head around where you are now after being that little kid hopping around out here?
Yeah, it's crazy because this was actually like one of my first camps that I ever came to. I was like in the 7th, 8th grade, and it's just it's pretty cool looking back now. You know, I would have never thought that I'd be in the position that I'm in right now. So it's truly a blessing, and forever grateful.
Did they reach out to you then? Because I remember you had like a ridiculous triple broad back then, or didn't he do something
I don't
crazy?
know, but I was just coming to every single camp. That's
Right.
what I was doing. You know, I'm part of an academy back at home.
Yeah.
So we'd load up the bus, you know, and then just all come down for camps like this. So
And that number is 0.
Yeah.
Who ought to get it next? Do you have any say in it?
I don't know how they're going to go. Picking obviously it's about how guys go about the business during the winter, spring, and then summer, and then a final decision will be made. So we're just in that second phase. So there's a lot of work to be done, you know. So
If there's something, if time travel were possible and you could go back and say something to your 7th, 8th grade self, what do you think that would be?
nothing. I wouldn't say anything, you know. I wouldn't, honestly. You know, I think that how I got here, you know, and what I had to go through, you know, the goods, the ups, the downs, you know, like I don't regret anything. So I wouldn't say anything. I'll let them figure it out.
Appreciate it, Jonathan.
Thank you.
So,